when we're speaking about mental imagery, that's one that I'm fascinated by. And visualization is something that I've never really done consistently. I mean, the idea of setting realistic goals or setting goals, which I'd like to talk to you about in a moment, the idea of developing a process toward a goal. Like I'll say I'm quite a big planner when it comes to getting ready for a performance. But when it comes to the visualization aspect, I've never really spent too much time developing my understanding or knowledge on that. When you say that, what are you meaning? Are you speaking about visualizing your way through training sessions or races or a combination of both? And how do you actually even start the visualization process?
Yeah, all the above. And in fact, I am publishing an article tomorrow on my blog. It'll be out on my social media on the power of mental imagery in triathlon. And again, you can apply it to any sport, any activity. But basically, imagery or visualization involves seeing your and feeling yourself perform the way you want. And usually, I have people start in training and get comfortable with it, and then use it for race preparation. So, for example, Michaela Schifrin, I don't know if you follow alpine ski racing, but she's the greatest ski racer in the world, maybe the greatest of all time. Anyway, she's an American. And in 2018, she was 16 years old, and she was favored to win the Olympic gold medal in Sochi, Russia. And she was being interviewed before the race. And the interviewer asked, well, what's it like being in your first Olympics? And she said, it might seem like my first Olympics to you, but I've raced this race thousands of times in my mind's eye.
Hmm.
And mental imagery is one of the most researched areas in sports psychology. And basically, a lot of people think that when you do imagery, you're just picturing stuff in your head. But it's an actual mind-body connection, that when you do imagery, you're fooling your mind and your body into thinking you're actually performing. And I know from my own ski racing days and my triathlon days now that I'd start doing imagery and my legs would start moving unconsciously as if I was actually skiing a course or running or biking. And so that shows that when you do imagery, it triggers your motor programs. And one of my favorite pieces of research came out about a year or two ago that found that they had people imagine themselves doing arm curls. Well, Tyson, what do you think happened? People got stronger. And when I tell the story to my young athletes, especially, I always have to tell them, okay, don't go running to your coach and say, Dr. Jim said I don't have to do actual physical conditioning. I just have to imagine myself doing it. Because clearly it doesn't activate the motor cortex quite as powerfully. But the research shows is that when you combine the actual training practice with imagery, you improve faster and better. But what's important, like anything related to becoming a better athlete or better at any kind of skill, is you have to do it consistently. So the reality is, Tyson, all athletes at every level do mental stuff. And so they do things to motivate themselves, to be positive, to relax, to focus. But mental stuff is like going to the gym every 3 or 4 weeks and doing a few arm curls. You're not going to get stronger. It's the consistency of physical conditioning, of technical training, of mental training that makes you helps you strengthen what I call mental muscles. And